Hello and welcome to this training session on the prioritization of urgency of need for services, or as it's better known, PUNS. In this session, we're going to explore exactly what the PUNS system is, who uses it, and why it plays such a critical role in supporting individuals with intellectual disabilities and autism. The goal is to give you a clear understanding of how to apply the PUNS manual effectively and with confidence in your day-to-day work. This system is all about making sure that services are directed to those who need them most, when they need them most. By the end, you'll be well equipped to navigate this important process. So let's dive right in and get started. The PUNS process is a statewide tool that helps identify and prioritize the needs of people with intellectual disabilities or autism. Think of it as a way to make sure resources go where they're needed most, when they're needed most. It supports statewide planning and funding decisions, helping the Office of Developmental Programs, or ODP, understand who needs services, what kind, and how urgently. When used correctly, PUNS ensures fairness and efficiency. No one falls through the cracks, and the system can plan ahead rather than react in crisis. Ever wonder who actually uses the PUNS assessment? It's a team effort, and every player has a crucial role. First up, individuals and their families. They're the heart of the process, sharing the personal information that forms the very foundation of the assessment. Your role as a supports coordinator, or SC, is to be the facilitators, guiding the conversation, filling out the form, and keeping it updated as life changes. Ideally, this all happens in a face-to-face meeting. Then, there are the county programs and administrative entities, also known as AEs. They use this detailed data to make important decisions about funding and services. Finally, at the state level, the Office of Developmental Programs, or ODP, takes all this information from every county to plan for the future. This helps build a support system based on real, current needs, not just guesswork. To be on the emergency PUNS, an individual needs to have an immediate need. So, what exactly does immediate need mean? According to ODP, an immediate need is one that meets at least one of three criteria. First, it may be a situation that exists now or will arise within 6 months, something that needs attention very soon. Second, it may involve a risk to a person's health or safety, where waiting could cause harm. And third, it may be tied to an unavoidable or imminent event, such as a caregiver becoming unable to provide support. In short, immediate means the person needs help now, or will very soon, to stay safe and supported. Next, let's talk about who should have a PUNS. Essentially, anyone who is registered for ID or autism services and is likely to need funding within the next 5 years should have one. That includes people who are waiting for home and community-based services, or those planning to apply for them in the future. Completing the PUNS ensures they're on the radar and that future service needs are tracked and understood. On the other hand, some individuals should not have a PUNS on file. This includes people who already receive full waiver funding. In other words, their needs are being met under current services. You do not need to do annual updates either. It also excludes individuals who don't expect to need ID or autism services within 5 years, or those requesting care in settings such as nursing homes that are outside our system. If a person doesn't meet waiver criteria or isn't pursuing services, they shouldn't be included in the PUNS database. When you're trying to get support, it can feel like a really long waiting game. But did you know there's actually a system to make sure the most urgent cases get help first? It's all broken down into 3 main categories of need. Understanding where you or a loved one might fit can make the whole process feel a lot clearer. So, let's dive into the first and most urgent one: emergency need. This category is for individuals who need services right now, or at the very latest, within the next 6 months. A key factor here is funding. People in this group either have no funding at all for the support they require, or their current funding just isn't enough to cover their essential needs. Think of it like a hospital's emergency room. It's for situations that simply can't wait. When someone's well-being is at immediate risk, this category ensures they get moved to the front of the line. Next up, we have the second category, which is called critical need. This one looks a little further into the future. It's for individuals who will require services within about 2 years. Maybe their current support system, like a family caregiver, is getting older and won't be able to help for much longer. Or perhaps their condition is expected to change, and they'll need more assistance down the road. This category is all about anticipating a coming need before it becomes a full-blown emergency. It allows for a bit of a runway to get everything organized and in place, so the transition is as smooth as possible when the time comes. Finally, there's the third category, planning for need. This is the most forward-looking of the three. It's designed for people who are thinking ahead, looking at a time frame of about 2 to 5 years from now. This could be a young person who will eventually transition out of the school system and need adult services, or a family that wants to proactively plan for future care needs. This category is incredibly important because it prevents future crises. By identifying needs early on, providers and families can work together to create a long-term plan, explore different options, and secure resources well in advance. So, why have these categories at all? Well, it's all about fairness and efficiency. This system ensures that those in immediate danger receive priority and get the help they desperately need. At the same time, it doesn't leave everyone else behind. It provides a structured way for people with less urgent, but still very real, needs to get on the radar and plan effectively. It balances immediate crisis management with proactive, long-term support. By organizing needs this way, the system can manage its resources better and serve everyone more effectively. I hope this breakdown helps you understand how needs are prioritized. It's a system designed to help, not to hinder.
Let's talk about what actually counts as an emergency situation when you need support. It's not always as clear as it seems. An emergency could be the sudden illness or even death of a caregiver, leaving someone without any support. It might be an immediate and serious risk to a person's health or safety. Think about situations like homelessness or living somewhere that just isn't safe anymore. Other examples can include the risk of being placed in an institution, unexpected court involvement, or even potential incarceration. Basically, if an individual's well-being is in immediate danger, right now, that's what we define as an emergency need. It's about situations where waiting simply isn't an option. Understanding this helps us know when to seek urgent help. Remember, these are just some examples. Check the PUNS manual and form for all the specifics. Now, let's dive into the second category, critical need. What exactly does this mean? Think of it as a situation that isn't a full-blown crisis right now, but it's on the horizon. We can see it coming, and it's crucial to get ahead of it. It's all about planning for a future need that is definite and predictable. So, what are some common examples of a critical need? Let's say we have a caregiver who has been providing amazing support for years. But now, that caregiver is aging. Maybe they're over 60, or perhaps they're dealing with their own health issues that are making it harder to continue in their role. This is a classic critical need situation. We know that a change in support will be necessary soon, so we need to start planning for that transition now to ensure there's no gap in care. Another great example involves young adults. Imagine someone who is about to graduate from the school system within the next 2 years. When they leave school, the supports they've always had will end. They're going to need a new system of adult supports to help them navigate life, find employment, or continue their education. Because we know this graduation date is coming, it falls under critical need. We can use this time to put a solid plan in place for a smooth transition into adulthood. The same logic applies to individuals who are preparing to transition out of other specific programs. This could be someone leaving a residential treatment facility, or RTF, or maybe they're moving out of a program under ABRA, which deals with nursing home care, or transitioning from the children and youth system into the adult system. In all these cases, the end date of their current services is known. The need for new supports isn't an if, it's a when. This foreknowledge is what defines a critical need. The key word here is anticipation. We see the need coming down the track, and we want to have everything ready and waiting. It's really important to remember that these are just a few examples to help you understand the concept. The official manual and the forms themselves will have a more comprehensive list of situations that qualify as a critical need. So, always make sure to check those resources to see if your specific situation fits the criteria. By identifying these needs early, we can be proactive instead of reactive, which makes a world of difference for everyone involved. Now let's talk about the third category, planning for need. This is for those looking a bit further down the road, maybe 2 to 5 years from now. Think about a caregiver who's getting close to age 60 and needs to consider future support, or a student who will be graduating in a few years and will need to transition into adult services. This also applies to anyone hoping to move into a more independent living situation or a community setting in the future. The whole idea is to get ahead of the curve. By identifying these needs early on, we can start putting the right resources in place and hopefully avoid any last-minute emergencies. It's all about proactive planning for a smoother future.
So, how do we complete the PUNS accurately? The supports coordinator should always complete it with the individual and their family, never alone. While signatures are no longer required, the conversation itself is crucial. Document your work in a service note. Updates should occur annually or within 30 days of any major change in the person's circumstances. Once finalized, the PUNS must be mailed or submitted within 5 working days. And if a person is removed from PUNS, all previous yes responses must be updated to no to reflect that change. Sometimes families may disagree with how their needs were categorized. In those cases, they can submit a PUNS disagreement form within 10 days. The SC or their organization will review it within 7 days, and if needed, the county or administrative entity makes the final determination. It is important to note that these decisions cannot be appealed through the Bureau of Hearings and Appeals. Meanwhile, ODP monitors the accuracy and timeliness of all PUNS entries. Active PUNS records are reviewed every 365 days, and this data plays a key role in statewide quality assurance and planning.
When someone's case transfers to a new county or supports coordinator, their PUNS record follows automatically through the HCSIS system. However, it's still essential to review and update it after the transfer to ensure accuracy. When a person's case is closed or they become fully served, their PUNS record should automatically deactivate, though it's always good practice to double-check.
Let's wrap up with a few key takeaways. First, PUNS is a collaborative planning tool, not just a form. Its purpose is to make sure people get the right supports at the right time.
Accurate categorization keeps the system fair and responsive, while timely updates help everyone plan effectively.
Supports coordinators play a vital role in maintaining data integrity, and ultimately in ensuring individuals and families get access to the help they need. If you'd like to learn more, the best resources are listed on the final screen. They include the ODP website, MyODP, and the PA Family Network, all of which offer guidance, manuals, and support. Please be sure to refer to these resources for in-depth information.